After defeating the enemy party, Raul let out a deep sigh, lowering his weapon as the dust began to settle around him. The battlefield grew quiet for a moment, and his mind wandered back to a distant memory, his previous life. The moment he first logged into Connect, he remembered the endless days of grueling training, pushing himself to master swordsmanship and refine every inch of his skill. Reflecting on it, Raul chuckled quietly to himself. The sound tinged with a hint of self-mockery. Come to think of it, I was absolutely pathetic back then, he muttered. I've got no right to talk about anyone. His gaze drifted to the horizon, where the simulated battlefield stretched out like a war-torn wasteland. Players do have potential, he continued in thought. Most of them are just rough around the edges. They've never had real combat experience, never stood on the brink of life and death. He tightened the grip on his worn-out spear. But if we're going to actually use these players for anything meaningful, things can't stay the way they are. If you want to work with me, then at the very least, stop being a half-ass who relies solely on flashy skills. His eyes narrowed. That's what the academy is for, not that they came here to learn anything. They were lured by promises, rewards, perks, and recognition. They flocked in blindly, which is exactly why I've got to show them. There's something beyond skill levels and flashy abilities. Something more real, more terrifying. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the battlefield, Shoichiro stood in the middle of a ruined street, eyes glued to the system's floating rankings display. "Goddamn," he muttered, jaw tightening. Is Bae DoHyun a freaking monster or what? 12 kills in 10 minutes, shock flashed across his face. There's no way he pulled those numbers off alone. He's got to be dragging more than 2 parties around with him. Just then, the system broadcast echoed in the air. 20 minutes have passed since the battlefield began. The zone with the highest number of surviving players will now be eliminated. Shoichiro's expression grew grim. Only 20 minutes and more than half are already gone. I've got nearly 20 people tailing me. If they all gang up, I'm screwed. A subordinate rushed over. "Commander, we've found Bae DoHyun." Shoichiro immediately turned. "Where is he?" 2 blocks ahead, near a collapsed building. "He's in the middle of a fight with another party." Shoichiro's Raul furrowed. "How many people are in his party? Don't tell me." "He is dragging multiple parties." The subordinate hesitated. "Well, he's alone." Shoichiro stared at him in disbelief. "What?" His subordinate says I double-checked the area. No allies, no ambush. He was fighting 4 people all by himself. I saw it with my own eyes. Shoichiro's face twisted in confusion, then steadied with determination. "You've got to be kidding me. There has to be a party hiding somewhere. Just in case, we search the area," the subordinate replied. "But he's alone." Shoichiro clenched his fists. "Screw it. I'll confirm it myself. Everyone move in. We strike from behind while he's still fighting." His men nodded, drawing weapons. Shoichiro's thoughts hardened. "I don't care what kind of tricks he's using. If he's alone, then he's a golden ticket. We bring him down, and I become the last one standing." He smirked. "Thanks for racking up those 33 kills for me, Bae DoHyun, but in the end I take the crown." Back on the battlefield, Raul sensed incoming danger. Flames lit the air as an enemy mage hurled a blazing fireball toward him. Raul reacted instantly, adjusting his stance and cutting through the spell with precise form, dissipating the blast. The mage's eyes widened. How? Firebomb one-shots even wolves. The warrior standing beside the mage cursed under his breath. "Damn it, even that didn't work on him. Got anything stronger?" The mage groaned. "Where the hell would I pull something stronger from?" The warrior scoffed. "I'm the idiot for expecting anything," he muttered, abandoning his partner as he rushed Raul head-on. "You can't just leave me like this," the mage panicked. The warrior closed in, slamming his shield forward. Raul blocked the blow, the force echoing through the stone-paved street. "If I close the distance against his polearm, I've got the upper hand," the warrior thought. Then, as Raul momentarily paused his movement, the warrior saw his chance. "God, you know," he shouted, initiating a shield charge. But Raul smirked. That unsettled the warrior. Before he could process it, a sudden strike from Raul's spear swept his legs out from under him, and he hit the ground hard, trembling. "When did he attack me?" the warrior thought, stunned. Raul looked down at him, his spear angled toward the warrior's throat. "If you're going to use a charge skill, you'd better make sure nothing's in your way. Otherwise, you're just asking to get screwed," he continued coldly. "Watch your opponent's hand next time. They'll always give you a hint when adjusting their weapon." Still not a bad attempt. With a final motion, Raul ended him. The mage turned and bolted, panicked, driving his steps, but Raul raised his hand and in response several blades floating in the air through psychokinesis shot forward like arrows. The swords pierced the mage, ending his escape. Raul exhaled and turned toward his weapon. "The shaft's completely bent," he muttered, examining the warped spear. "Damn waste, but I did block a full-on charge, can't complain." Suddenly he sensed them, multiple presences on the rooftops. He looked up, ninjas more than a few. His eyes narrowed as he focused on one of the figures, and in that moment a familiar sensation prickled his instincts. That presence, his gaze sharpened. "So it's you, Shoichiro, you're here." Shoichiro had been obsessed with ninjas long before Connect even existed. A self-proclaimed otaku, he immersed himself in every facet of the shinobi fantasy, from ancient scrolls and tactics to the most obscure anime references. When Connect launched, it was like his dreams had come to life. Backed by powerful supporters in Japan, he founded the guild Rakuen and rose to its upper echelon as one of the chief executives. Naturally, he put his obsession into practice, creating a full-fledged ninja squad within the game, a deadly and elite unit that answered only to him. But the problem wasn't that the squad existed, it was how it was used. Shoichiro didn't command them from behind the scenes. He led them personally, lurking at the front lines and targeting solo rankers with underhanded tactics, ambushes, poisons, and sabotage during hunts. Those were just his opening moves. He'd go as far as kidnapping quest-related NPCs just to lure powerful players into traps. And I, Raul, was one of their primary targets. It wasn't just once or twice that my quests were ruined by that so-called ninja squad. No matter how many times I chased them down, I'd only catch the expendable pawns. The real culprit, Shoichiro himself, always slipped through my fingers like smoke. That cockroach of a man, the one who dogged me at every step in my past life. I've missed you, Shichiro. I didn't come unprepared. It's time you experienced everything you made me go through. Upon the rooftops, Shoichiro silently raised a hand, signaling his ninja squad. They knocked their arrows and aimed at Raul, who stood alone in the street below. There's no need to waste energy in close combat for someone who's by himself, Shoichiro thought coldly. No matter how skilled he is, he won't be able to block all of this. He lowered his hand. Goodbye, you foolish idiot. The squad fired a volley of arrows, fast, precise, and lethal. But the next instant their target vanished. The arrow struck only dirt and stone. What? One of Shoichiro's men cried. But before he could finish, an arrow whistled from the shadows and hit him square in the shoulder. He let out a scream and fell. Shoichiro's eyes narrowed. What the hell? From behind, check the house, he barked. He must have slipped inside. One of the squad members leapt down and breached the nearest building. Shoichiro turned to another operative. I'm heading in too. Sweep the second floor, he ordered. Kenta, keep watch out here. If he's inside, he won't escape. With that, Shoichiro burst through a window, glass shattering around him. As he landed inside, the first squad member called out. You find him? Shoichiro asked, gripping his blade. No, he's not here. A blood-curdling scream echoed from outside. Shoichiro and his teammate rushed to the window and saw Kenta, pierced by multiple arrows in the back, collapsing. Shoichiro's mind reeled. He was hit from behind. What the hell is this? A cloning technique? Illusion? Before he could speak, another arrow zipped past his ear and struck the scout who had entered earlier. The man stumbled, calling for help. Shoichiro's eyes flicked to the wound. Non-lethal. The limbs were targeted. He's not trying to kill. He's trying to draw me out. You son of a, Shoichiro shouted into the empty air. Stop playing these dirty games. Come out and face me fair and square. From a nearby rooftop, Raul's voice echoed down. You want me to come out? Why should I? Above, blades shimmered and floated unnaturally into the air. Raul's psychokinesis trait, activating multiple swords at once. In a blink, they surged down toward Shoichiro and his remaining ally. Shoichiro leapt aside, but two blades caught him, one in the arm, the other slicing into his leg. He grunted in pain and staggered back. His comrade wasn't as lucky. A blade pierced his head and he dropped without a sound. Shoichiro screamed in rage, turning toward the rooftop. You bastard, I'll kill you. But Raul's voice came from behind him. How does it feel? Raul asked calmly. Being helpless, watching everything fall apart while you can't do a damn thing, he showed, whipped around, panic flooding his face. Who the hell are you? Do you know me? He swung his blade wildly at Raul, but Raul slipped aside effortlessly and landed a clean punch to Shoichiro's jaw, knocking him to the floor. Shoichiro trembled, struggling to his knees. It's my first time seeing you. What are you going on about? Raul stared down at him and sighed. How disappointing. He raised his foot and slammed it into Shoichiro's face, sending him reeling. You filthy bastard. Shoichiro spat, blood running from his mouth. Next time I'll kill you myself. Raul's eyes narrowed, his psychokinesis flared again. Multiple swords hovered above him, then pointed downward. See you again, bud. The blades descended. Shoichiro's body went still. Raul stepped back and let out a breath. That was refreshing. He pulled up his system window, eyes scanning the updated stats. When did the numbers drop this low? He muttered. Guess it's about time I moved too. Zone 1 is finally about to open. A little later, at the gate of Zone 1, Raul opened the system window, and seeing it, he thinks 81 survivors. If we lose just one of them, the gate will open. A space designed to make the exam even more intense. An artificial terrain where securing a spot early gives a geographic advantage. When the last 10 minutes begin, all areas except Zone 1 will disappear. That means you eventually have to come to this place whether you like it or not. He picks out a stool from the inventory and sits on it, thinking, when will they reveal themselves? At that moment, an arrow aimed at his head flies toward him, but he easily dodges by tilting his head slightly, and a smile appears on his face as he thinks, well, before that, they'll have to go through me first. Then the scene shifts to another part of the battlefield where Soo-hyun is alone and running away from another party of players attacking her. To get some distance between them, she summons her summon Unbyul, a little white fox that bites the party leader chasing her, distracting them. She moves away, thinking the opponent is a Chinese team with over 10 people. Unbyul is buying time, but it's only a matter of time before she gets caught up. All the former teammates were taken out, and now I'm the only one left. The only thing I can trust now is that man's words. She immediately jumps over the wall and arrives at the bridge that leads to Zone 1. She becomes confused as she sees someone sitting beside the Zone 1 gate. As she looks closer, it's Raul, and she rushes toward him while thinking he's sitting out there in the open like that. I'm in big trouble. That guy will be swept into this because of me. She grits her teeth and is flustered, thought. It can't be helped. She activates her skill Perception of Redemption, a skill that allows her to see behind walls, and she immediately runs toward the Zone 1 gate. Seeing her, the Chinese party members state running out in the open terrain. She's asking to die. They prepare their long-range weapons. They start shooting arrows at her, and while she dodges most of them, her skill cooldown starts, and an arrow hits her arm. She looks toward the zone and thinks, damn it, just a little further left. Then Raul turns his attention toward her. She shouts a warning at Raul to watch out for incoming enemies. But before she can say more, an arrow narrowly misses her, and she thinks, am I being stubborn not wanting to ask for help after all this time? To say watch out instead of help me. As she's thinking that, Raul teleports right beside her and says just run and head into the gate. She becomes surprised and thinks, when did he come all this way? At that moment, an announcement is made and the Zone 1 gate opens up. The number of survivors has decreased to 80. The locked Zone 1 will be opened. The Chinese party members see Raul. One member asks, how dare you play hero? A second member says, you foolish bastard, are you just asking to die? But before they can do anything, Raul moves, and with swift movements he immediately kills 3 of them. Raul, looking around, thinks they're not rushing here anymore. Are they flustered? Soo-hyun, who has arrived at the gate, asks, hey, are you okay? Raul replies, yes, they won't come at me easily for a while either. Soo-hyun says, right, hold on. I'm coming over there. She bows before him and says, thank you for saving me, and I'm sorry for dragging the enemies in and putting you in danger, Bae DoHyun. Raul replies, it's okay. I said what I said before the test started, so I have to take responsibility too. Heal your wounds first. You'll die from excessive bleeding, she agrees. A little later, as she heals herself, she asks Raul, but why are you here? Frankly speaking, you don't need to fight anymore. You already have an overwhelming kill count, Raul replies. I wanted to confirm how good my skills are. After all, the chance to fight this many players without any worries doesn't come this easily, and he thinks it'd be a problem if she misunderstood and thought I was just some killer who enjoys murdering people for no reason. However, Soo-hyun thinks I'm jealous. He's not just talking big, he's proving himself with real skill. If I trained at the academy too, could I become that confident? To do that, I must pass first. And she recalls Raul's words that he said before the exam started. Raul said at that time, if you've collected 4 fragments, then proceed to Area 1, which opens mid-round. As she tries to ask about it, Raul stops her question midway, saying, wait a moment, someone's coming. At that moment, Park Sun-ho and his party arrive on the scene. Another party starts attacking them, shouting, the Korean guys are coming to Zone 1, don't ever let them near the sacred gate. Seeing that, Soo-hyun asks Raul, they're being attacked. What should we do? Raul says, let's cover them for now. Park Sun-ho's party blocks the incoming arrows with their shields. 4 of them have shields, while Park Sun-ho has a bow with which he attacks the enemy while the others defend. Seeing the formation, Soo-hyun states, everyone's so amazing. As Park Sun-ho is about to launch his arrow attack, a magic circle appears above their party. Seeing it, Soo-hyun shouts a warning. Sun-ho immediately turns toward the circle and launches his arrow at it, destroying the circle. Seeing that, Raul thinks he's firing arrows from behind to keep approaching enemies in check, but also intercepting magic. Is intercepting magic a skill effect? That's pretty impressive. After a little struggle, they enter Zone 1. Raul approaches Sun-ho and states, that was a good judgment. Sun-ho replies, I was just lucky. If it had turned into close combat, reaching the gate would have been difficult. Hearing that, Raul thinks to push through despite knowing that he's got quite the guts. Nice. He passed. Then he calls both of them, Soo-hyun and Park Sun-ho, and asks, could you come this way for a moment? Both immediately agree and move toward him. And Raul states, let me give you a present for coming all the way here. Raul stepped forward with a calm yet commanding presence, a faint smile tugging at his lips. You've done a great job making it all the way here, he said, his voice steady and sincere. With a flick of his hand he opened his inventory and retrieved a stone statue, its surface pulsing faintly with energy. Turning to Soo-hyun and Sun-ho he asked, both Soo-hyun and Sun-ho have almost collected all the statues by now, right? I've gathered 4. Soo-hyun replied, slightly out of breath but composed. My party secured another 4, Sun-ho added, his tone sharp and confident. Raul nodded approvingly, then drew out another statue from his inventory. Then I'll give one to each of you, he said, holding the statues out to them. Soo-hyun's Raul's knit in concern. But these are yours, Raul shook his head gently. I'm just keeping my promise. I'm the one who asked you to collect these and meet me in Zone 1. The other parties will likely only hand their statue to a single person. You should choose one member from your team and send them here too, Sunho nodded, taking in Raul's words. Understood. Soo-hyun hesitated before speaking up, her voice tinged with regret. To be honest, I think staying to help you till the end is the right thing to do. But in my current condition, I just hold you back. What? No, not exactly, Raul said, taken aback by her honesty. Soo-hyun smiled faintly, trying to hide her frustration. I'll accept your kindness for now, but I'll repay this debt. I hate just receiving without giving back. I'll be waiting for that, Raul replied warmly, and the two shook hands firmly and sincerely. Then Raul turned towards Sunho. Looks like Park Sunho has made his decision as well. It's time, get ready. He raised his voice. Everyone, brace yourselves. A massive enemy force will storm the castle any moment now. Understood. Sunho replied without hesitation. Suddenly, two radiant pillars of light erupted from the ground in Zone 1, piercing the sky. Far in the distance, Chinese player Gao Shaliang narrowed his eyes at the sight. Why are there two pillars instead of one? He muttered under his breath. A subordinate approached. Sir, should we head to Zone 1? No, Gao Shaliang answered calmly. It's already too late. Send a messenger. Call in the troops from the south. No need to rush. They're just a disorganized mess compared to the might of unity. The sound of bamboo horns blaring signaled his command. All across the surrounding fields, Chinese players began to gather in response. Gao Shaliang silently assessed the situation. With everyone here, we number around 30. More than enough to clear the battlefield of chaos. Now then, Bae DoHyun, what's your plan? How will you defend the castle against this many enemies? Back at Zone 1, corpses littered the ground, a grim testament to the battle that had just ended. Raul stood among them and summoned his system window. The real-time ranking appeared before him. In first place is Raul with 50 kills. Second place is Gao Shaliang with 10 kills. Third place is Park Sunho with 9 kills. Remaining survival time is 34 minutes. Raul's eyes narrowed. Soon every territory except Zone 1 will fall. The final phase is near. Just then, Sunho's voice came from behind. Aren't you worried? You racked up a lot of kills earlier, but the next wave is coming fast and we've had no time to recover. Raul turned slightly thoughtful. He's right. We barely managed to hold the pillar for 10 minutes against the swarm. We protected the completed statue, but we lost too many allies, and now everyone knows how few of us remain. He smiled. Don't worry, this next battle will be the last. Sunho raised an eye roll. What do you mean? If it's the friend I know, Raul said quietly, then he'll gather the rest of the team and bring them here. Sunho's eyes widened. A friend who? Before Raul could answer, one of Sunho's subordinates rushed over breathless. Enemies incoming. Sunho snapped to attention. Already? How many are there? There are too many. We couldn't even count them all. The news hit hard, but Raul's expression didn't falter. He drew his weapon from his inventory, a fierce glint in his eyes. So he's here. Gao Shaliang. Gao Shaliang, known across servers as an elite tactician and executive of the Super Overlord Guild. His skills are one thing, but it's his mind, his leadership that makes him feared. Even low-level guild members flourish under his strategy. A real thorn in my side. In my previous life I never had a clear shot at him. He operated from the shadows, but this time I'll confront him head-on. He pulled this all together in such a short time. Is he planning to erase me with sheer force? As Shaliang's mages began chanting, a massive magic circle formed in the sky. But before the spell could complete, an arrow streaked through the air, killing one of the mages instantly. Raul, Sunho shouted, "We'll support you from above." In unison, the Korean players raised their bows, yelling, "Let's show them the true strength of Korea. Prove our power loud and clear." Raul's heart surged. That's right, this time I'm not alone. Even the tightest formation has blind spots. When players cluster like this, it stifles their greatest asset, skills. Let's remind them how overwhelming skills can be. Raul activated a teleportation skill enhanced by telekinesis, vanishing from his spot and reappearing behind enemy lines. The same technique that had shattered Shoichiral's mind earlier. He unleashed a swallow waltz, a blinding flurry of dagger slashes that tore through the enemy ranks. This skill was passed down to Kale, the dagger specialist. And now it's mine. Raul moved with lethal precision, cutting down enemies one by one. Sunho watched in awe. He's too strong. But Raul wasn't done. He turned to face two heavily armored energy warriors guarding the flanks with large shields. The formation's tight, Raul said aloud. But all you've done is dig your graves. He launched forward again, eyes scanning the battlefield. Should I keep clearing the path until I reach Gao Shaliang himself? Sometime later, strategist Gao Shaliang, at Zone 1, only to freeze in disbelief at the sight before him. The ground was littered with the lifeless bodies of his fallen comrades. His eyes widened in horror, and his voice trembled as he muttered, "This is impossible." Turning to Raul, he demanded, "How did you manage to do this all on your own?" Raul, watching him tremble like a leaf, calmly asked, "So are you going to fight, or are you just going to stand there gawking? If you're not planning to do anything, then step aside." Xiaoling's face twisted with fury at the provocation. In a flash he activated his wind magic, conjuring a sharp gust imbued with destructive force. "You arrogant bastard," he shouted. "Don't delude yourself into thinking you've already won. I'm a high-ranking official of the People's Republic of China." He launched the spell toward Raul, but Raul moved swiftly, slicing through the magical attack with his twin daggers, cutting it down before it could touch him. The sherries with which Raul dismantled the spell left Xiaoliang speechless. Before he could react further, Raul flung one of his daggers aside and closed the distance in an instant. Grabbing Xiaoliang by the collar, Raul leaned in with a chilling smile and whispered, "So this is what your face looks like up close." Then with a single swift strike Raul ended him. Xiaoling's body crumbled to the ground lifeless. Immediately afterward a system window appeared before Raul, listing the successful candidates from Group H. Final results: total kills Raul 80. Fragment completers are Han Suhyun with 4 kills, Li Jicheng with 3 kills, highest kill counts, excluding already qualified first place. Park Sunho with 11 kills, second place. Gao Xiaoliang with 11 kills, third place. Zhang Yulong with 8 kills, fourth place. Deng Zhaoyan with 7 kills, fifth place. Mao Yuan with 7 kills. Raul glanced at the results and thought, so this is the level of the preliminaries? That was too easy, almost disappointingly so. As soon as the preliminary battle concluded, news articles exploded across online portals, and the gaming community erupted with heated discussions. The headlines were bold. "The true predator emerges in the final preliminaries. His name is Bae DoHyun." Audiences were stunned by Bae DoHyun's performance. His skills had mesmerized viewers, and many began to believe he would be the ultimate victor. Still, some skeptics questioned if anyone could truly be that powerful, wondering if it was all too good to be true. But one question echoed louder than the rest. Who exactly is Bae DoHyun? Meanwhile, at Connect headquarters, inside a sleek executive office, the director of Connect slammed his fist on the table and growled. "What do you mean untraceable?" A subordinate stood before him, calm but grim. "It's exactly what it sounds like. Investigating him further is beyond our intelligence team's capabilities. As you're aware, all core data is managed by the system administrator. Unless there's a special circumstance, even we can't access user profiles." The director gritted his teeth. "But if he's logged in, he must have received a capsule. We're the ones who handle capsule distribution. Can't we just check the delivery records?" The agent shook his head. "We did. There's no one named Bae DoHyun on the list. He's likely connected to the VIPs. As you know, they operate under different rules." The director's jaw tightened. "So you're telling me we can't even touch this?" "That's correct," the agent said flatly. "Our team won't be taking this case." With that, he turned on his heel and exited the office. The director stared down at the report and cursed. "What kind of damn company is this?" He leaned back in his chair, lost in thought. "Sure, we have the company sign out front, but the real management, it's all AI run. We just operate the front. CEO Mok Jae-woo, he's just a puppet. Every real decision is made behind the scenes by that mysterious chairman and the AI. And those damned VIPs, a handful of them own shares in Connect, receiving profit distributions and access to elite privileges. One of those perks includes direct capsule delivery straight from the true headquarters." His eyes narrowed. "Connect sole office. It's just a facade. If I really want power, if I truly want to succeed, I need access to the actual headquarters." Then his thoughts circled back to Raul. "That guy must hold the key. He's going to rise. It's inevitable. I don't know his real identity, but I need to dig into his background more carefully." Scene transitioned to the capital city of Ashton County Conferred Castle. Raul walked through the bustling streets of the capital, looking around with quiet nostalgia. "Has it been almost 9 months since I was last home?" he murmured to himself. Despite the recent chaos caused by the gate incident, the townsfolk chatted and smiled as though nothing had happened. The warmth and energy of the city remained untouched. As he passed by the local arena, memories flooded in. "This is where I competed in the entrance tournament for the Royal Academy," he thought. "So much has changed since then, but this place, it still feels the same. So this is what it feels like to return to your hometown." Eventually, Raul arrived at the Ashton family mansion. The loyal butler, Ivan, stood at the entrance and immediately bowed. "Young Master Raul, welcome home." Raul smiled warmly and pulled him into a hug. "Have you been well, Ivan? Are you in good health?" The old butler chuckled. "This old man is still doing just fine. I'm more relieved to see you back safe and sound. I would have sent a carriage, but his lordship has been waiting for you." "Right." Raul nodded. "He summoned me. Please take me to him." He guided him down the familiar corridor and knocked on the study door. From inside, a deep voice answered, "Come in." The door opened to reveal Count Melvin Ashton, standing tall behind his desk. Ivan quietly excused himself, leaving the two alone. "I hope the meeting goes well," he said as he exited. Raul stepped forward but paused. "What's with this atmosphere?" he thought. The Count suddenly shouted. "Raul!" Raul snapped to attention. "Yes, father." Count Melvin's eyes blazed. "Do you even recognize the gravity of your actions? Do you understand your sins?" Raul froze, his expression tightening. What is he talking about? He wondered. What happened? Raul, lost in thought. Did I lean too heavily on the family's resources, or was it when I raided that imperial base and pretended it never happened, he wondered, guilt quietly creeping in. Suddenly a hand rested firmly on his shoulder. It was Count Melvin, his father, wearing a stern expression. Now that you're officially the lord of this territory, he said. How could you leave the mansion unattended for so long? Raul's eyes widened at his father's unexpected reproach. He thought, I guess I'd been acting as Bae DoHyun for too long ever since the open beta began. Just today, I pushed through the round of 32 in the tournament, and left all the mansion's responsibilities to Bernard again. Of course father would know about that. No matter how busy you are, Count Melvin continued, his tone sharper now. You must never forget your duties as the head of this land. A nervous sweat formed at Raul's temple. So that's why he's upset, Raul realized. I've been gone without a word for far too long. I'm sorry, father, Raul said sincerely, bowing his head. I promise this won't happen again. I won't leave the mansion without notice in the future. If you do, Count Melvin warned, narrowing his eyes, I'll lock you inside the mansion for a month and put you through special training. Keep that in mind, Raul grimaced internally. A full month of father's training. That would be the end of me. Later that day, in Count Melvin's study, a knock echoed at the door. Come in, the Count called. The door opened to reveal Dylan. You called for me, father? Dylan asked, stepping inside. Raul turned to see his older brother and smiled. Brother, you're here. Dylan smiled back. Raul, you're finally home. Their reunion was cut short as Count Melvin spoke up. I summoned both of you because I have something important to discuss, he said gravely. It would have been best if Lauren were here too, but that boy won't come even when summoned. There's no helping it. Now take a seat. Raul felt a sudden tension. What's father about to say? Count Melvin leaned forward. As you both know, the continent has been in a state of unrest. I had hoped to wait until things settled down, but it seems we no longer have that luxury. He placed a small ornate box on the table between them. Seeing it, Dylan tensed. Father, is that the family seal? The Count nodded, opening the box to reveal the emblem of House Ashton. The air grew heavier. Dylan, he said, from this day forward you will act as the head of House Ashton. I'm entrusting you with the title of Count and the responsibilities that come with it. I believe in your strength and resolve. Both sons sat in stunned silence. Raul was the first to think. Brothers have always been treated as the heir in practice, but being named the official successor is something else entirely. Why now? Dylan asked, troubled. There's no need to rush this, is there? I'll be stepping away from my role for a while. Count Melvin replied plainly. What? Dylan leaned forward, shocked. Why all of a sudden, what's going on? The Count looked out the window before replying. It's time. I believe I've reached the threshold. The next level is within my grasp. Raul's heart skipped a beat. Is he finally pursuing the path of the Swordmaster? He's made up his mind. To prepare for what's to come in these turbulent times, Count Melvin continued, I must gain power beyond what I currently possess. That means I'll be leaving for about 2 months somewhere quiet where I can fully process the insights I've gained. Father, Dylan murmured, moved. I didn't know you were carrying such determination. What do you need from us? There's no need for alarm, Count Melvin said with a calm smile. For now, just support me as best you can. Dylan, I trust you to manage the house in my absence. Can I count on you? Dylan fell silent for a moment, then nodded. Of course, father. I'll do my best, Raul added with a smile. Congratulations, brother. Thank you, Count Melvin said with a satisfied nod. Raul felt the weight lift from his chest. What a relief. Back when father fell ill and hadn't named an heir, the household descended into chaos. But now, with Dylan officially taking the helm, we finally have stability. Count Melvin turned toward Raul. Yes, father. Raul responded. You may be busy, the Count said, but don't forget that you're still a son of House Ashton. Support your brother and take responsibility for this land alongside him. I understand, Raul replied, bowing his head. And one more thing, Count Melvin added. There's something I'd like you both to help me with. Both sons looked at each other, puzzled and curious about what was to come. Sometime later at the estate's training grounds, swords clashed violently. Dylan and Count Melvin were locked in a fierce sparring match. Each blow rang like thunder. Nearby, Raul was on one knee, gasping for breath, struggling to rise after his spar with their father. Sweat dripped down his Raul. Why did it have to be sparring of all things? He groaned inwardly. What kind of barbaric training is this supposed to be? The last time I crossed swords with father was before I left for the academy over a year ago. I've come so far since then, or so I thought. He looked back at the battle between Dylan and Count Melvin. The air shimmered from the force of their blows. A sudden clash of sword aura sent a shockwave blasting outward. Raul's jaw dropped. Is he even human or just an ogre in disguise? You're relying too much on brute force. Count Melvin barked at Dylan mid-swing. Look who's talking, Dylan shot back. If not for that absurd sword aura of yours, you'd be the one lying on the floor watching them, Raul thought bitterly. Seriously, you're both the same. Your muscleheads just bulldoze through everything with sheer strength. Even though I enhanced my body with mana and used telekinetic reinforcement, I still got blown away. I'll need to change my approach. Count Melvin turned and shouted, Hey you brat, stop playing around with those tricks and fight properly. Dylan chuckled and called out, See, I told you to train with us more. You need to build your body if you want to make proper use of your power." Hearing their comments, Raul clenched his fists, indignant. "You fools." He rose to his feet and activated his psychokinesis trait. Light burst around him as several glowing swords floated into the air, their edges gleaming with radiant energy. With a steely gaze, Raul declared, "Enough warm-up. The real match starts now." Sometime later, the swords Raul had summoned lay shattered on the training ground, fragments strewn around him like the aftermath of a battle. His chest rose and fell with deep, labored breaths as he struggled to steady himself. Sweat trickled down his face, and as he caught his breath, he replayed the fierce exchange in his mind. "I used everything. Expert-level swordsmanship, level 8 intermediate-rank telekinesis, full buff stacks, and even psychic abilities like flicker, and I still lost." His fists clenched at the memory of his full-force assault being dismantled so easily. "I fought swordmasters in my past life, but he might even be stronger than them. If this is his power without a formal class advancement, what kind of monster will he become when he ascends to swordmaster?" Noticing the serious expression on Raul's face, Count Melvin approached, his tone light, but knowing why the grim face. "Are you that upset about losing to your old man?" Raul shook his head, managing a small smile. "No, it's not like that." Melvin placed a firm but gentle hand on Raul's head and said with quiet warmth, "You've grown a lot, far beyond what I expected. If only I'd acknowledged your talent sooner, perhaps you wouldn't have had to shoulder so much alone." Raul looked up, sincerity in his eyes. "No, father, it's because of everything I went through that I became who I am today," Dylan chimed in, half sheepish. "I should have stepped in earlier too. I know how hard it was for you. I should have at least taught you my physical training method. If you had, I'd probably have died and gone to heaven already," Raul muttered inwardly with a faint smirk. "Well then," Count Melvin said, glancing up at the sky as dusk approached, "since the day's ending, let's head back inside." That night, in the quiet of the study room, Raul sat across from his elder brother, Dylan. Brother asked, "Have you been able to reach Brother Lauren?" Dylan gave a slow nod. "Yes, the knights stationed with him have been sending periodic reports." "Where is he now?" Raul asked. "He's been stationed at the wall ever since the gate incident." Raul's eyes widened. The wall. Memories surged forth of a brutal war from decades ago. Back when the Kingdom Alliance pushed the Empire into the continent's northwest, the battle ended near the Grand Canyon of Despair. It was the only land route connecting the two sides via a grim passage known as the Corpse Road. To block it, the Alliance erected a massive fortress wall, sealing it completely. That's what they called the wall. "What's he doing in such a dangerous place?" Raul asked. Dylan sighed. "Knowing Lauren is probably hacking through monsters. Ever since the gate incident, there have been unusual surges beyond the wall. What's more, the monsters pouring out have been clashing with the Empire's experimental undead units. It's not just dangerous, it's bizarre." "So that means," Raul murmured. But Dylan simply turned his head away, expression unreadable. "Whatever the case," he added, "I wish he'd just come home. He doesn't have to fight alone anymore." In my previous life, Raul thought grimly, when I visited the wall it was already too late. Just ruins and remnants, according to the scenario. A major catastrophe will unfold there when the Empire's invasion begins. If I don't intervene, something could happen to second brother. Before that, I need to act, brother, Raul said suddenly. "Do you remember the proposal I made before?" Dylan furrowed his Raul. "Proposal? I'll ask again." "No, I'll beg you this time. Please become the advisor for the first guild. I already said no last time." Dylan replied, frowning. "I'm not comfortable joining your group." Raul leaned in. "Don't overthink it. Just think of it as a way for us to stay connected. Now that you're overseeing the county, this guild could support your work." Dylan paused, then sighed heavily. "You're impossible to read sometimes." "Fine. If you're this desperate, I'll accept." "Thank you, brother," Raul said, beaming. "To be honest, my sister-in-law joined a long time ago. She's been waiting for you." "What, she's already in?" Dylan exclaimed in disbelief. "Of course," Raul said with a chuckle. "With the system, we can message each other instantly, track locations. It's convenient." "I think I'm regretting this already," Dylan thought to himself. "This is a huge relief," Raul reflected. "With dangerous forces starting to move, bringing family under the guild's protection is essential. And if I can pair dual-type skills with my brother's physical prowess, another powerhouse will rise in this county." Things are finally starting to move. The scene shifts to a roaring stadium arena. A massive screen flashes with dazzling lights as an announcer's voice echoes across the venue. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm your caster, Park Jinwon, here to bring you live coverage of today's electrifying semi-final match. The Academy Entrance Exams battle phase is now on its 8th day." The crowd roared with anticipation. "The stakes have never been higher. Win this and it's on to the finals." Today's spotlight belongs to none other than the rising superstar player from Korea. Cheers erupted. Facing him is the dynamic and explosive martial artist from the United States, Player Blake. As the two fighters entered the arena, the atmosphere grew electric. The bell rang and we're off. Blake charges in fast. Blake, a master of multiple martial arts, unleashed a blinding flurry of attacks. His fist cut through the air in a devastating combo. Each move was designed to overwhelm, but Bae DoHyun barely moved, his body shifting with minimal effort to avoid the strikes. With a sudden leap, he flipped through the air, dodging a powerful kick that shattered the stone beneath them. Bae DoHyun countered with a punch of his own. Blake dodged. But even as he moved, realization dawned in his eyes. He's different from before. He could end this with a single hit, but he's deliberately receiving all my techniques. Blake launched another powerful strike. This time, Bae DoHyun blocked it with crossed arms, the force reverberating through the arena. Bae DoHyun grinned. Not bad, he said. Shall I have some fun now? Blake had entered the match expecting a brutal slugfest. Bae DoHyun. I thought he was just a cold-blooded combatant, the kind of fighter who only knew how to crush his opponents without mercy, but right now he's holding back. Blake narrowed his eyes, tension coiling in his gut. With my current skill level, I should be able to show off everything I've got. So why is he letting me? Determined to press the advantage, Blake burst forward, his body cutting through the air like a blade. His swift, explosive movement was designed to overwhelm. But as he approached, behind him suddenly bent down low, a movement too subtle and unexpected to be random. Blake's instinct screamed, and without thinking he leapt back. What the hell is he doing? But the evasion wasn't enough. In the blink of an eye, Bae DoHyun vanished from his original spot and reappeared behind him. Blake barely had time to register the voice at his back. That was a pretty good move, Bae DoHyun said calmly. Let's have a proper duel next time. Then came the punch, fast, clean, and devastating. Blake's eyes rolled back as the blow connected squarely with his face. His body spun slightly in the air before collapsing to the arena floor unconscious. Announcer Park Jin-won's commentary. That's a clean, perfect hit to the face. And with that, player Blake is down. Park Jin-won's voice rang out across the stadium. Player Bae DoHyun wins with a decisive victory over Blake of the United States. Bae DoHyun advances to the finals. Sometime later, Blake awoke in the medical ward and approached Bae DoHyun. His pride remained intact, tempered by the respect he'd gained. Thank you for your consideration today, Blake said sincerely. If it's not too much to ask, could we spar again sometime? Bae DoHyun gave a nod and a faint smile. Of course, I'm always open to a match with someone skilled. Blake scratched his cheek, slightly embarrassed. You flatter me. Could I get your number? Sure, Bae DoHyun replied, and they exchanged contact info as they parted ways with a casual, see you next time. Bae DoHyun's thoughts turned inward. There's a reason I went easy on him today. He smirked to himself. If I can build a rapport and earn his trust, I might be able to recruit him into the first guild. The pieces are falling into place. Just then, a system window appeared before him. It displayed the result of the other semifinal match. Li Jincheng lay defeated and Wang Tianming stood tall as the victor. Castor Park Jin-won's voice rang out again. Defeating player Li Jincheng, Wang Tianming secures his place in the finals. Watching the result unfold through the system, Raul furrowed his brow. It's been a while, Wang Tianming. He's one of the characters who stuck in my memory. Raul recalled the man, a top Chinese player who insisted on solo play until the very end. He was ranked in the top 100 from the very beginning of Connect, and even at the time of my death he remained one of the highest ranked players. Raul's gaze sharpened. His traits grade key swordsmanship was one of the most dangerous skills back then. He has what it takes to make it to the top, but he's unpredictable, completely absorbed in his martial hero persona. He chuckled wryly. He used to go around declaring that he'd bring the honor of Murim to Connect. That eccentric streak led to more than a few clashes between us. I couldn't stand that kind of roleplay nonsense. Raul exhaled deeply. Still, it's been a long time. We're strangers now. No point dwelling on the past. Sometimes later at arena waiting room, Wang Tianming approached Bae DoHyun with a noble air, extending his hand. I enjoyed watching your match, he said with a calm and collected tone. You fight well. Bae DoHyun smiled and returned the handshake. Thanks. I enjoyed yours too. Your swordsmanship is impressive. But then Bae DoHyun's expression changed. His grip tightened on Bae DoHyun's hand. His eyes filled with seriousness. Your strength is undeniable, he said, but you lack the dignity that a true warrior must possess. Power should not be flaunted, it must be accompanied by compassion and respect for the weak. He hasn't changed at all, Bae DoHyun thought, suppressing a sigh. Here we go again. The self-proclaimed champion of justice makes his appearance. Without a word, he tightened his grip in return, just enough to make Wang Tianming's arm tremble slightly. I don't know about that, Bae DoHyun replied coolly. I've never really seen myself as strong. I just try my best in every fight. Wang Tianming yanked his hand away, clearly displeased. Your way of fighting is wrong. I'll prove it right here in the finals. Looking forward to it, Bae DoHyun said, smiling. But make sure you prove it with your skills, not words. Wang Tianming turned sharply and walked off, visibly irritated. He's not a bad guy. He was amused as he watched him leave, but his view of the world is way too narrow. I'll break that stubborn mindset of his first by beating it out of him. Castor Park Jinwang's voice echoed through the arena once more. First Guild Academy Special Admission Test. The final battle is about to begin. Thank you for your patience, Connect users. The long-awaited showdown is finally here. A quick message popped up in the system chat window. Please refrain from excessive profanity. Offenders may receive a temporary ban. A spectator muttered, "Damn, the chat's nasty." Jin Wang's voice rose in excitement. The matchup that everyone's been waiting for, South Korea's pride. Player Bae DoHyun enters the arena, and standing across from him the Grand Master himself, China's Wang Tianming. As the crowd erupted, Wang Tianming stepped forward with a martial flair, putting his fist into his palm in a traditional Murim salute. "I shall defeat you," he declared, "and show the world what it means to uphold justice in the honor of Jonghu." This guy, he's exhausting, Bae DoHyun thought, exhaling. How does he never run out of that murmur energy? But fine, let's play this game your way. He drew his sword from his inventory and used its tip to carve a clean circle on the arena floor. Castor Park. Jin Wang's voice rang out once more. Before the match begins, "What's this?" Player Bae DoHyun has drawn a circle around himself. Facing his opponent, Bae DoHyun spoke calmly. "Wang Tianming, I'll be honest, the difference in our abilities is too large to have a proper match. So here's the deal. In this final I won't step out of the circle. If I leave it even once, I'll concede defeat." Gasps echoed from the crowd. The atmosphere grew tense. Wang Tianming's eyes widened in anger. He gritted his teeth. "You arrogant. I swear I'm going to destroy you." Bae DoHyun narrowed his gaze. "All right then, Wang Tianming, if you want to act like a hero of justice, I'll be your villain. Let's see how far your beliefs go." Wang Tianming relentlessly continued his assault, his blade slicing through the air from every angle in a flurry of calculated strikes. Each swing targeted a potential opening, but Bae DoHyun met every blow with calm, precise defense, parrying them effortlessly. Frustration began to cloud Wang Tianming's focus. "Why aren't any of my attacks landing?" he thought, teeth grinding. Determined to break through, Wang Tianming flipped midair in a dazzling maneuver, landing behind Bae DoHyun in an instant and aiming a powerful strike at his back. But once again, Bae DoHyun was unfazed. He reacted as though he predicted the move, blocking it just as smoothly as before. He blocked that too. Wang Tianming stared in disbelief. What the hell is this guy made of? The crowd, meanwhile, was thoroughly enjoying the spectacle, unaware of the frustration boiling inside Wang Tianming. His grip tightened around his sword. "Damn it, I didn't think I'd feel so powerless, but I prepared for this. I studied him." His thoughts raced. Based on the preliminaries and tournament data, Bae DoHyun's traits are limited to psychokinesis, short-range teleportation, and general weapon skills. Psychokinesis isn't even that powerful. It's all timing and positioning. His teleportation has cooldowns, and his weapon proficiency isn't anything overwhelming. If that's all he's got, there's no way he can withstand my sword Kai. A crimson aura flared around his weapon as he activated his Kai sword technique. "Fine, let's see you block this." With a shout, Wang Tianming swung his blade, slicing down with full force. But to his shock, behind him parried the attack just as easily as before. Then, without warning, Bae DoHyun encountered with a swift horizontal slash, forcing Wang Tianming back several steps. Staggering, Wang Tianming's thoughts turned in disbelief. Impossible, unless he infused his weapon with mana. But that's no illusion or trick, that's real power. Just as he tried to recover, a rope suddenly snaked around his ankle. With a tug, he lost balance and hit the ground hard. Before he could react further, he was being dragged across the floor right toward Bae DoHyun. With a casual smile, Bae DoHyun leaned down and asked, "Hey, do you know how to use fist arts?" "What? No, I've never really." Before Wang Tianming could finish his sentence, a fist smashed into his face. And it didn't stop there. Bae DoHyun began pummeling him with brutal precision, raining blows onto his opponent like a man possessed. From the caster's platform, Park Jin-Wang's voice rang out. Player Bae DoHyun is pummeling Wang Tianming. He's not finishing him with his sword, he's just beating him senseless. The audience was stunned at the turn of events. Despite the overwhelming difference in their abilities, Wang Tianming tried to raise his hand, lips trembling as he attempted to surrender. But Bae DoHyun stopped him, pressing a hand firmly against his face. "You launched dozens of attacks without hesitation, and now you want to quit after taking a few hits," he muttered coldly. "I'll return the favor for every moment I endured back in the war." Then he added with a grin, "This is Mira. You can revive without penalty, right? So don't just run after taking a beating. Die cleanly, then come back." Blow after blow landed until Wang Tianming finally collapsed unconscious on the ground, broken and defeated. Bae DoHyun stood over him, wiping the sweat from his Raul. And with that, announced Park Jin-Won, player Bae DoHyun secures victory. Representing South Korea, he is the champion of the First Guild Academy Special Admission Tournament. As cheers erupted from the crowd, Bae DoHyun looked down at his opponent with a smirk. After a beating like that, he'll probably spout less nonsense next time. Following the finals, the list of successful applicants for the First Guild Academy was published. Around 600 players, among them more than 60 non-combat personnel, were admitted as the Academy's first official class. Accepted students were granted luxurious accommodations and meals equivalent to those in a 5-star hotel for 3 months. Fresh, clean clothes were provided daily. Even more notably, the 16 top players who had passed the final matchups received exclusive rewards, upgraded housing, custom gear tailored to their unique traits, unlimited portal access between the starting city and the academy grounds, and permits to enter the capital Turium. A privilege previously restricted to high-ranked players, this shift marked a new era for Connect. With the tournament going viral, the game quickly developed an advanced personal broadcasting system, enabling players to stream their gameplay in real time. Platforms across the globe offered full support. And even though Bae DoHyun's channel explicitly stated there would be no live streams, it garnered the highest number of subscribers by far. His highlight reels, edited masterfully by Raul, racked up hundreds of millions of views within days. The world was watching, and then, as the champion, Bae DoHyun received one final reward. Elsewhere, Raul watched the aftermath unfold deep in thought. It doesn't matter whether he finishes the academy or not. He'll be granted guild membership immediately, along with access to official quests. That's just a formality. In reality, he won't attend most classes. He'll only participate in certain exercises and final assessments. We have more important business now. A man in uniform, Bernard, approached with a bow. Master, preparations for the conference are complete. Raul stood up from his seat and asked, "Is Kane present?" "Yes, everyone's waiting." Raul adjusted his collar, his expression sharpening. "Good. Let's head to the conference room. It's time I return to my real work."